Good morning, I'm Kathleen Pate, and this is my Alabama farm life, and this is going to be a Shed Wars video, and I'm going to discuss my successes and failures of my three sisters' garden, and then maybe later take a tour of the garden. I did not use the typical three gardens plants, corn, squash, and beans. I did corn, cucumbers, and peas. I'm not crazy about squash, but I really wanted some cucumbers, so I substituted the cucumbers for the squash. I planted some beans, but then I ended up deciding on peas. I really wanted some peas this year. However, I did not take into account the soil temperatures, and I'll explain this in a few minutes. The cucumber is doing really well. I only have one little fruit so far, but I have tons of flowers, so I'm expecting a really good harvest of cucumbers soon. The corn is actually quite tiny. It's already gotten silk and it's turned brown, so I'm going to have to start pulling it off and seeing what it looks like. This is actually the second ear of corn that I've pulled off of these little plants. They're tiny ears, but there are some kernels and they're actually very sweet. I believe my mistake with the corn was that the soil in this bed is not deep enough, nor did I fertilize them when I put them in. There's also not full sun in this bed, so given those three reasons, could be why they're so stunted in their growth. Next time I'm going to have to make sure that I put the corn and my vegetables in full sun. I planted a whole bunch of peas, but none of them survived. As I said, I didn't take temperature into account. Peas like cooler temperature soils, while corn and cucumbers like it hot. I've also planted nasturtiums and some marigolds, and I planted some zinnias, but I don't think any of them made it. In hindsight, I probably should have planted flower seeds when I first put these seedlings into the ground. It may have made a big difference in pest control. I wish I had some flowers in here to repel whatever this is. This might be the problem. We are finding them all over our rose bushes. We use Sevin dust all over this bush, and I think it's worked. There doesn't seem to be any more. We're going to try to get out here in the garden before it rains, but it's already starting to drizzle. We need to come out here and start picking some blueberries. We've got a lot of ripe blueberries out here on our monster bush. We are starting to get a lot of tomatoes off our purple Cherokees and our Better Boys. And look at this beautiful sunflower in full bloom. The mystery seeds that I planted over a week ago are showing their pretty little heads. We are seeing marigolds, zinnias, and some squash type plants, but we're not exactly sure what they're going to be until they start producing. Our second row of tomatoes are doing nicely, and they're actually starting to put on some fruit. These newly planted tomatoes, however, aren't doing so well. I see a few have survived, but I think there was just too much rain for them. However, the pumpkins that I planted at the same time seem to be doing really well. I'm very pleased. These are the cantaloupes that I planted about 2 weeks ago, and they're doing really well, although I do need to do some weed eating and pull some grass. And my watermelon is spreading out all over the place. It's got blossoms on it, and I'm going to be looking for fruit soon. And I've been told that this is okra. I still haven't finished putting the rest of my plants out, but it looks like we have some rain coming, so I might have to save that for another day. So far we've collected about 15 pounds of tomatoes and peppers. This does not include all the ones that we have given away and all the ones that I have fed to the chickens. My Three Sisters garden may not have turned out the way I wanted it to, but I did learn some valuable lessons, and I'm really pleased with our tomato and pepper harvest, and I'm looking forward to some melons here in the near future, and maybe even some pumpkins, but we shall see. Thank you guys for joining me. I appreciate all the support. You guys have a great day.